We are
Hey.
back at it. Don't you do that to me. We are back at it again with another episode of the Fantasy Simpletons Fantasy Football Show.
Yep.
I am your host, Kyle Fridland, joined with me by my brother and co-host, Jacob Fridland. And we are tackling, once again, still going, AFC breakdowns.
Oh, yeah.
We have done all the other divisions up to this point. We are going to take it down the home stretch, and we are going to talk about the AFC West. Should be fairly simple, fairly straightforward. Let's just get right into it, starting with the current AFC champions, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Boo!
Boo!
You suck.
Hey, that's pretty nice. But when I think of the Kansas City Chiefs, the first thing I hear is, oh, what's that? Is that in the background? Oh no, is it the consequences of somebody's actions coming back to bite them? Rashee Rice getting in trouble. A lot of people thought the suspension would be resolved and come out next season, but they're speeding up the process, and it seems like it's going to happen sooner rather than later, whether it's for 3 games, 4 games, 6 games, undetermined. But we are going to see, how does that shake up the wide receiver room?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think with his whole thing, he could be good later in the season. If his suspensions stayed the same, right? How many games is he suspended for?
It's not currently known yet, but people think it could be anywhere from the 4 to 6 game range. Maybe it could be more, but I don't think so. I think 6 games is probably the range.
Yeah. So, I mean, with that, Xavier Worthy kind of popped off later in the year last year.
Yeah.
So he could be an interesting one to watch. And we'll probably fill that role while Rashee's out. When he comes back, I think he'll be good. I mean, he showed, before he was out last year, he showed us just how good he could be. Yeah, I'm a fan of Rashee Rice. And there's also Hollywood Brown, who people forget about.
We didn't really get a chance to see him last year. He was injured for most of the season, and I'm sure the injury carried a little bit into when he came back as well. I think he'll have a bit more of a role. I actually think he might take over a small part of the role that Worthy had last season, which is more of a gadget player used for down the field stretching. But Rashee Rice, he's a monster before he got hurt. He was very dominant. What worries me is that with the injury he had and the suspension, he's been away from the team for a long time. And I think they've now had enough time to see what the team could look like without him. And Xavier Worthy started to really step up late into the year, where we started to see like, oh, he was starting to figure it out. Even in the Super Bowl, he was the one standout player of the Chiefs during that terrible Super Bowl game. And I think with Rashee Rice out, it gives Xavier Worthy another shot to like tighten the gap of maybe Rashee Rice is not the dominant number 1 receiver anymore. Maybe it's going to be more of a 1A, 1B situation.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that for Xavier.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting.
Utilize the speed more. He's the fastest player in the NFL. Throw it to him downfield.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. He's unmatched. I mean, he really is with his 40 time. You can't really beat that guy, stretching down the field. So, Yeah, and but he is also one of the smaller guys too.
Yeah,
One of the smallest wide receivers next to Tank Dell. He's like super skinny. He's like 100 and
thin
I don't know,
guy, 100
70
pounds
pounds or
soaking wet.
something. It's crazy. So, yeah, there's that too. Like the injury risk is there just because of how thin he is, but he I don't know if he's been putting on muscle this off season. I think that would help him out, but also make him a little bit less speedy. So, yeah.
Feels like an off-season stereotype. How many players do you see a season where it's like, oh man, I put on 15 pounds of muscle,
Mhm.
and they're like, oh, I'm ready for the season, and they're like the exact same player.
Oh, yeah.
It's a bit of a stereotype sometimes.
It is.
I find it, right before we leave, interesting note. Jalen Royals is someone to
Yep.
look out for during the suspension. A lot of people have been saying he's now been inserted into the slot role, while Rasheed Rice has not been on the field. So he could have some interesting upside early on, depending on how they play him. If they play him similar to Rasheed Rice, he might get the ball a lot more than expected.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to see how quickly he works into the system um, if he's slotted as the 4th wide receiver right now, but, um, he showed flashes in college and he could be good. Hollywood Brown's a little bit older, so we could fill that role, you know, down the line.
Yeah, it can be pretty simple, but here's a bit of a problem. They got Travis Kelsey there. They got Travis Kelsey. He still takes the majority of catches and targets, especially after Rasheed Rice went out last season. There's a part of me that hopes it doesn't happen. He's a year
Mhm.
older. He doesn't look like he's in his prime anymore. And there were many games where they started to use Noah Gray, where
Yeah.
randomly Noah Gray just started getting touchdowns and big plays. This team likes to use multiple tight ends. Noah Gray's not the only one they use.
Mhm.
So there's a chance this is going to be an offense that we've seen in years past with Mahomes. He's going to be spreading the ball around a lot.
Oh, yeah. That's
I
what he
think there's going
does.
to be a little bit of everybody.
Sure. And, yeah, I like Noah Gray too last year. He was interesting. It was interesting that he got a contract extension too, right? So I
Yeah.
think that just goes to show that they're expecting him to maybe fill that role for Travis because Travis is getting older. Um, and he's still elite, but for how much longer? We just don't know.
Yeah.
So
And even elite, I think we have to start having conversations of if he can still be considered elite. But we'll
that's true.
see. We'll see as the season goes on.
Hmm.
But then we go into the running back core, which is also confusing. Isaiah Pacheco, he was supposed to be the guy. Last season, he was supposed to be the guy. They were going to just be the workhorse. He'd get the touches, he'd get the catches out of the backfield. And an injury in week 2 ruined it. Broke his leg. And they brought in Kareem Hunt. I don't think Kareem Hunt is very efficient with what he gets, but they like it and it works. So
Hmm.
they think they want to continue doing the same thing that they were doing with him last year, use him in goal line situations for touchdowns. Um, and with the addition of someone like Rashard Smith, the 7th round rookie who could be a bit more of a pass catching player,
Yeah.
it muddies something that I thought was supposed to be for Pacheco.
Yeah. I think I like that they added Brashad because he could step in if needed, and he's, you know, at the same level as a pass catcher, if not better, because he was a wide receiver in college before he switched to running back. So, and he switched his last year. So really only has a year of experience in running back position collegiately. Um, but that pass catching ability, man, it could it could be good if Pacheco fails to capitalize on his number one spot.
I'm a big Pacheco guy. I like rooting for him. I like watching
Yeah.
him play. It's so unfortunate because the injury really derailed. It's hyperbole to say his career, but depending on how this season could go, it really could.
Yeah.
This is the last year of his deal. Uh, so we're just gonna see how it works out for them. And then Patrick Mahomes, uh, he'll be what he probably was in the last couple years. Unless this offense changes, he's gonna be his name's gonna be bigger than his value.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I do not want to draft him, and I will never draft him.
Yeah, and I won't either.
Yeah,
And in large part that's because I'm not a Chiefs fan, but also he's just I don't know. He's never been I've never looked at him as like top tier. He used to be. No, he
he
used to be a
used to
top
be.
tier fantasy receiver, but I mean not receiver, I'm sorry, quarterback. I just don't view him as that anymore. Um I don't know. I think there are better options, like Kyle said, you can get for the price.
Yeah,
So,
a lot of other
yeah.
quarterbacks you can get better than, like for example,
Mhm.
um, Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Uh, you can get under Patrick Mahomes, you can get Baker Mayfield, Bo Nix, Kyler Murray, Justin Fields. Maybe not. Maybe not all of them, but you get the point.
Oh yeah, for sure. Baker is so good fantasy wise, I
Yeah.
think, and will be for the next, however to come.
And we'll have a
Um,
chance to talk
so,
more about Baker when we talk about the NFC.
yep.
And I'm sure they don't care what I'm sure the Chiefs don't care what we think on this. They'll just keep winning magically
Yeah.
somehow.
Somehow.
And here we go. We're going to talk about the Los Angeles Chargers. And here we have Najee Harris. Now, why does he have an eye patch over his eye? Well, that's because he got into a 4th of July injury, very similarly to a four-finger player in Jason Pierre-Paul. Now, they said it wasn't a big deal. That's what they keep saying, is that it's not a big
Mhm.
deal. And yet, he's still not out on the field.
Yep.
They're not giving us any timetable of his recovery, of what he's dealing with. The only clip we've seen of him is with shades and a hoodie on.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
My question is, what are we doing? What's happening here?
Yeah.
And how seriously should we take this injury?
Right. I mean yeah. It's pretty obvious, you know, to say that he's gonna be faded out for Amarion just because of how high a draft capital Amarion was. He's such a legit RB1 prototype.
Yeah,
Like, I guess, yeah, it's just like how long will it take for him to be above Najee and yeah, I don't know with Najee's injury, how that's gonna affect him start of the season, if it even will.
this is not his team.
No.
It's not. It's if this were the Steelers, it'd be different. He's on a new team, and him
Yeah.
losing out on all these chances in training camp and touches, that's big. That can affect you in the same way it can affect a rookie.
Definitely. Yeah, I like Najee, and I think that he brings good veteran presence, you know, to a young RB class. Um, for Amarion, you could probably learn a lot from him, but yeah, I just don't see him being the guy
Yeah.
in the future. So
And
Yeah.
we have to use this to look at Hampton's stock very closely because news, depending on what news comes out, his draft price is probably going to surge up. It's going to skyrocket. So we have to be able to play a dangerous game of, okay, when does it become too much?
Yeah.
Because he's not going to have 100% of the work. Najee will still be incorporated when he comes back. Najee will still have a role. Like, we can't take that out of the equation yet. So this is one of those situations we just have to monitor.
Yeah. Totally
Don't get
agree.
lost in the sauce.
Yeah. But also, rookies are drafted later anyways, and
Yeah.
I think sometimes it's good to get ahead of the game when you can, right? He's being valued so high right now, but um, he might be valued even higher when he starts doing really well. So
Yeah. Well,
yeah, you just kind of gotta
he's
feel
not
it
the
out.
only rookie that's valued highly on this team by a lot of people. Looking at
Yep.
wide receiver Trey Harris.
Yes.
He was drafted into the second round. I know he's a fan favorite, a lot of people. People are very, very high on him to get a big role in this offense because they need a second receiver. Feels a little disrespectful to me to Quentin Johnston. I don't know if everybody will agree on that, but people are kind of counting him out before he's even there. He's did a lot better than people remembered last season.
Yeah, I
He
agree.
had a lot more yards. He had touchdowns. Yes, he had some drops. Yes, he had a bad Monday Night Football game. But he's still a part of this offense. So I don't know about you, but I'm not fully bought into this idea yet of
Mhm.
Trey Harris as this breakout fantasy guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not bought into the idea that he would take over for Quentin.
At least
Okay.
not yet.
At least not yet. See, in the offseason, there were previously a lot of trade talks, trade rumors with Quentin, and I think those kind of fell through. And I think it just goes to show that, like, you know, Quentin's liked. He's built chemistry with Justin as much as he's dropped. Even though he's dropped, a fair amount of balls, yeah, he is getting better every year, and you can see that. Last year was decent, so I think we shouldn't count him out. I think he's a huge yak guy. Like, if he actually catches the ball, you know,
If he actually
he's
does the job he's supposed to do,
dude, he's gonna do something with it when he gets
yeah.
it. Like, so I feel like, yeah, you can't count him out. You just can't. Not yet. And I like Trey Harris too. I think he's a great wide receiver. Was great in college, and I don't know. I think he'd be a really nice addition to being on the outside, um, across from Quentin. I mean, we saw it with, you know, Mike Williams.
Yeah.
We saw it with Mike Williams, and we saw it with
I'm
Keenan Allen.
tired.
They were so good together, so good. Um, so I think they could do a similar thing. You know.
Yeah. And for anybody that doesn't know, last few days, Mike Williams recently retired. Was originally going to play for the Chargers, decided to retire instead. R.I.P.
Dang.
Mike Williams, retire in peace. Retire
Yeah.
in peace. You know, it must be
Dude.
fun to be Jim Harbaugh.
Mhm.
I wish I had a coach in my life that loved everything I did as much as he loves his players.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's probably the one guy out there that is just hyping up everybody. And I'm
Mhm.
sure it feeds off certain players like Quentin Johnston, where he's like, especially last season when everybody was talking crap about Quentin, he was like, no, this guy's good. I like this guy. You know who he loves? He loves Justin Herbert. If you've seen the way
Yeah.
he looks and talks about Justin Herbert, it's amazing. And you
Yeah,
know
it does
what?
seem like that.
I'm kind of in the same boat. I think Justin Herbert's going to be really great this season.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you have the shot, if he's there, even if he's up against a guy like Bo Nix, someone who we'll talk more about because he's going to be up next, between those two players, I might take Herbert over him. I really like Herbert this season.
Yeah. No, I like him a lot too. I like his rush ability. Um, he's he's a great pocket passer. I think, yeah, he's everything you kind of want in a in a dynasty, or not a dynasty, in a fantasy QB, you know. So I don't see what there's not to like, especially with this improved receiving core.
Yeah.
Um,
Getting the conch.
yeah, getting the conch,
Getting the conch man
tight
in there.
ends, Will Disley, big fan
Favorite,
coming
big
from the
fan.
Seahawks.
Always been big fan of Disley.
Disley's cool. He's good. And so, yeah, I think it should be good. I think that their receiving core is only getting better
Yeah.
every year. And you know, I'm pretty sure this could be their best year yet. Could be Justin Herbert's best year because he's just needed good players.
Yeah. I mean,
And I think he finally has that.
he's starting to feel like, you know who he feels like? A lot of people compare him to Phillip Rivers. He feels more like the Matthew Stafford of this newer generation. Of he doesn't have the success yet. He has two playoff games, not a single playoff win. But man, everybody loves him and everybody talks about how great he can be. So I'm very excited to see where that can go. All right. Moving on from one very well liked team to another one, we got the Denver Broncos. Now, there's a lot of hype around the Denver Broncos this season, coming off of last year, the improvements that were made. My only question is I don't know in this offense, outside of Cortland Sutton, if there's going to be a lot of room for big star playmakers,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I agree. You know, I think that's another thing. It's kind of a crowded receiver room. And
Yeah.
last year there weren't really any breakout candidates outside of Sutton. Um, Marvin had some flashes,
Marvin
I
late in the
think.
season definitely had some
Yeah.
very strong games. So he's the
Oh, yeah.
closest thing that I
Yeah.
think could be that.
Yeah, and I've heard a lot of hype on him. So I think he could take a bigger step up this year. Um, and he's going into his 3rd year, so I could see that for him. Yeah, I've also heard some stuff about Troy Franklin, you know?
Troy Franklin, I have heard a little bit about Troy Franklin too. I mean, and there is stuff there. Uh
There is.
it's we'll get more into it, but Sean Payton has a weird feeling about rookies sometimes. He doesn't like using rookies a lot when he has to use them. But now he's in his 2nd year. He
Mhm.
still has that rapport from college with Bo Nix.
Yep.
There's a chance they could develop more chemistry.
Yeah.
Uh, and speaking of rookies, Pat Bryant
Oh, yeah.
within the same receiving room. We'll just have to see how all of them sort of mesh together.
Yeah. It's an interesting group, but I kinda like it. I like the
Yeah,
talent, you know? I like Pat Bryant being a bit of a bigger guy. They needed that. Having Troy Franklin and Marvin Mims, kind of smaller, um, shifty slot type guys. And yeah, I like Pat Bryant and um the coach Sean Payton, he's been comparing him to Michael Thomas.
yeah. Which
Um
is, I mean, That's a lot.
It is a lot. It is a lot, but I mean, you know, him having coached Michael Thomas on the Saints, I think it just says a lot about how they want to use Pat Bryant. So especially with Cortland getting older, I was kind of surprised, but also not surprised by the contract extension from
Getting
Cortland that just
paid.
Here
recently
comes the
happened.
money.
Here we
Yeah.
go. Money talk.
Here comes the
So,
money.
Get that money.
oh yeah, but yeah, so I don't know. It should be interesting to see how Pat fills in this wide receiver core, um, with Cortland staying there another 4 years. But you know,
Well, the wide
it's
receiver room could be bigger than we realize. Uh, look right under him. We got Evan Ingram, who they've talked about before as possibly using him as a wide receiver tight end hybrid
mhm.
within this system. So you could technically add him into the wide receiver mix as well.
Oh, definitely. And I think they haven't really, like, the Broncos haven't really capitalized on their tight ends in recent years
Yeah.
as being, go-to receiving options. Especially last year. Who did they have last year?
Who do they have last year in tight ends? Oh,
Yeah.
it was.
See, that's
There's
what I'm
some of them
saying.
are still on the team. It's just, they're
I
still on the
they
team. They
had
just
Greg
didn't develop.
Dortch, or not Greg Dortch,
Dulcich.
Dulcich.
There we go. He's still there, I think.
No, he's not. He's not.
Oh,
I
he
saw that
left.
he's actually on. Yeah, I have to look it
Oh
up.
man,
But
we'll have
he's
to
on a
look that
different
up.
team.
Hold on.
Yeah, he's on
I
Arizona.
got it.
No, sorry, that's Greg Dortch now. Dolchich.
Dulcich.
Dulcich.
For the New York Giants. He's on the
The
Giants.
Giants.
Oh, good for
Yes.
him. They don't really have
Exactly.
anybody.
Yeah, I knew it was between a few teams, but yes, the
Yeah.
Giants.
All right.
So,
All right, Dulcich.
anyways.
That's enough talk for you. There's only so much Dulcich talk we can have on here.
But yeah, anyways, I think Evan could be good.
I think Evan could be really good.
He could be a good option if they choose to use him. Yeah, could be good.
But then we look at someone like the running back group here, which I think the name to look at in the running back group for what's happened over the last few months is RJ Harvey, because it's been kind of like this. He started off pretty low because he wasn't one of the top running backs drafted. He was near the end of the second round. Then his name started getting really hot, maybe too hot. And then they brought in J.K. Dobbins, and the clear consensus seems to be he's going to be the starter this season. So I guess before you say anything, I'll put my 2 cents in. I don't really think any of these guys are going to be a true number one this season. Sean Payton has a weird way of using his running backs. He says he wants to use certain players, but then does the opposite. And he just ends up using whatever he decides in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be RJ Harvey would need to be a special talent, I think, to stand out and sort of beat the way Peyton runs his system.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you summed it up perfectly. I think it's gonna be more split than we think.
Yeah.
More split than one or the other. And it's funny that you have Jaleel McLaughlin up here.
Because Sean Payton talks about him. He still talks about him and he still likes him, and it's like, this guy. You spent so much to get RJ Harvey, and you love him so much, but then you talk about this guy and that guy.
I know, and I think he was decent, He wasn't bad, especially for being a UDFA guy.
But here's the problem. It was one of the weakest running back groups in the league. It's a team that wants to run the ball that couldn't run the ball the way they wanted it to.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And
And oh no, you go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
No, you go ahead. No, you go
All right.
ahead.
All right. So, I mean, just with JK being a pass catching back, you know, um, I think he could bring a lot to the table. I like him a lot. He did well on the Chargers. If he could stay healthy, I think he could be, decent competition for RJ, and RJ might not have that role right away. So,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, I don't know. We'll have to
I
see.
Yeah, it is what it is. We'll have to watch it as it plays out. I guess the last thing to bring up is Bo Nix. Um, and maybe this is not a statement of how he's going to do the season. I think a lot has gone right for him in a way that other quarterbacks it hasn't. When I watched him last season, I noticed not only does he have one of the best offensive lines in the league, but a lot of his throws were behind the line of scrimmage, were wide receiver screens, were running back screens. And he could still
Mhm.
throw deep balls and do well. I'm not saying he's a bad player at all, but a lot has worked well for him in this offense. He's in the right system with the right players. I think with a lot of people expecting him to take a big jump, I don't know if there's necessarily going to be a big jump there. I think he's going to be relatively similar to what he was last season,
Mhm.
which is top 10, still will be a great quarterback, but some people I think might be hyping a little too much. I think it should be tempered a little bit more.
Mm,
And
yeah.
I know that's not a popular opinion, but it's just, I think so much went right for him, and he is yet to face a true, like, situation of, oh no, it's all on me.
Yeah, I agree. I I'm right there with you. I really like Bo Nix, and I think you could get him a little bit lower than some other quarterbacks for great value, in
Yeah.
a redraft. Um, so I'm I'm kinda all in on him, I have him in some dynasty leagues.
I'm
Um
still thinking of drafting him, but it's one of those things I'm drafting him with a set expectation.
Oh, yeah, totally. He did great last year
Yeah.
with what he had, and I think the only reason I think he could do the same, if not better, is because um, he has more receiving options. He has Evan Ingram and he has Pat Bryant, and I think they bring a little bit more to the table. And the running backs are better, you know?
Yeah, better chances for pass catching.
Yeah, exactly. So I think with more options, it's possible that we could see an increase in his fantasy production. So I like him. I like him a lot.
Yeah.
Uh,
I like them. I like the Chargers. There's one more team we have to talk about in this division, and it's probably of everybody in the AFC, the most wildly different offense in this entire conference. From last season to this season, we have the Las Vegas Raiders.
mhm.
So this is a team that's had a complete overhaul. We have Pete Carroll, our guy, Pete Carroll, the oldest coach in the league, now the new head coach of the Raiders. Chip Kelly as the offensive coordinator. And who did Pete Carroll bring along with him but the great Geno Smith?
Mm.
Traded away from Seattle over to the Raiders. I think this is actually a good improvement for the Raiders in the passing game.
Yeah.
I'm a lot higher on Geno Smith than like some other Seahawks fans are. I know not everybody loves him. I know it was tough trying to compare him to Russell Wilson during the time, but I think he's a good passing quarterback, and I think he'll
Oh,
bring
yeah.
stability
Mhm.
to this team at least in the short term.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think he's a fine quarterback to have. I mean, you know, if the Seahawks had a better offensive line,
Yeah.
I think Smith could have been great.
Yeah, he could have been great on the
He could have
team, but
been.
it was just one of those things where the team was just
Yeah.
stuck in a certain position. I think it's
Yeah,
great that he's being put on a team to help build them from the ground up.
definitely. Definitely. And he's got fine receivers. Um,
Yeah,
a lot of
let's talk
young
about some of
talent.
these receivers actually. Sorry for cutting you
Yeah.
off there, but
No, you're good. Let's do it.
let's talk
Uh,
about some of these receivers. I think
mhm.
it's more interesting to talk about the rookies first, though, because I think everybody assumed early on that Jack Besh, the second round pick, was going to be the clear, obvious wide receiver 2 here. But all of a sudden, out of nowhere, fourth round pick, Dante Thornton seems to have overtaken him somewhat. Been getting
Mhm.
a lot of first team reps, being looked at as a fast down the field option.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of Geno Smith is talking highly about him, Pete Carroll. How much should we buy into this? Like, to what level should we buy into this, like,
Mm.
building Dante Thornton hype?
Yeah, I mean it's tough to say. He really is such an interesting he has such an interesting build, you know. He's 6'5". Um he was fairly productive in college.
Yeah, remind you of anybody?
Super speedy. Um
Remind you of a guy that Geno Smith used to throw to?
oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, very DK
I
coded.
could see some DK-esque stuff there for sure. So I think he's just different than Betch. And I'm in on Thornton, you know. I think Betch too is interesting because he is kind of similar to Brock, bro.
Similar to Brock Bowers?
Similar to Brock Bowers.
Oh,
Because Betch actually used to play tight end in college
I did
before
not know this.
Mhm. Before switching to wide receiver at TCU. He was on LSU and played tight end. So it's interesting that, you know, they just are kind of similar prospects. Like very physical, um, good at blocking. I'm talking about him and Brock Bowers. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I just find it interesting, and I think he's just different than Thornton.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know. It could be interesting. I think Trey Tucker is kind of pushed down to the wide receiver 4 position just because he was kind of there when they didn't really have many people.
Yeah.
Um,
I can see that.
he's a fine addition, speedy guy, but I can see the rookies overtaking him and Jacoby Myers, bro.
Kobe
That
Myers,
guy,
underrated wide
so
receiver.
underrated.
He's gonna
So good.
look, he's gonna do well. He
Yeah.
he won't he won't be remembered for it, but he's gonna be probably uh top 25. I'd say. Like, that's a good bet to say he's gonna be a top 25 receiver. You can get him for cheap.
Yeah.
Um I guess if I could play devil's advocate for Thornton, um, you're right. They like him in the first team because he plays a different role. He adds a different he's a different type of player than the other receivers, adds something new to the offense.
Mhm.
And even in college, he was mostly just used as a deep ball down the threat guy. The production
Right.
wasn't always there. So he's still very raw prospect.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
it's weird because this is the Raiders, but I want to trust Pete Carroll and I want to trust Chip Kelly and this offense to like
Mm,
bring the right stuff out of him.
hmm
Which already is a weird pairing to have Carroll and Kelly together, but yeah. And not lost hope for Jack Best yet. Some
Oh, no.
he hasn't even played a game yet. Give him a chance, but you still have to monitor it.
Yeah. Everything that I saw from his, you know, from him playing in college is he just looks like he's got that dog, bro. He's
He's
got
got
that
that
dog
dog in him.
mentality.
He's got that dog in him.
And I think that's why he reminds me so much of Brock Bowers, but like you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
So I think after Jacoby, um, Jack is for sure your next best option in wide receivers
Yeah.
for fantasy, and then maybe taking the chance on Thornton if he's on your wire.
He'll
Um,
definitely be on the wire. I think he'll
he's in
be
in most leagues he's on the wire,
yeah.
but you know
I
that's
picked
why
him
it's
up.
good to take a chance.
Yeah.
Stash him. You
I
never know.
dropped Jalen Polk for him.
Dang.
I
Oh yeah.
that's gonna hey, I think it might work out for me, but we'll still have to see. For anybody that's listening, if you notice we haven't talked about Brock Bowers yet, it's because it's kind of set in stone. It's the best rookie tight end season I've ever seen. He looks like an absolute stud. Um, I guess the only question is this is more interesting to me. He's being drafted very high. You know, usually the number one tight end gets drafted incredibly high.
Mhm.
Are you the type of person that would draft a tight end with like your second round pick if he's on the caliber of, say, Brock Bowers?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
you
would.
would?
Well, see, it's tough to say because it's tough to beat Brock Bowers. If I knew a tight end was on the same level, like who's that guy on the Cardinals? Trey Benson? No,
James
Trey
Conner,
McBride. Trey
Trey
McBride,
McBride.
dude. Then I would do it. I think there's so few great tight ends out there that are used as like wide receiver ones, and
Yeah,
that's you know it's just so hard to come by. But if I knew I could get someone like that, I would do it, bro. And I would put him in well my first tight end position, but then I would even maybe stack up, put him in my flex. If I had Brock Bowers and Trey McBride, that'd be awesome.
dude, he's a big bet. The players being drafted around him are Devon A. Chan, Brian Thomas Jr., Bucky
Mhm.
Irving. Like this is if you're going in on him, you got to go all in. So it's
That's
just more
true.
dependent on what you think you want out of your team.
Yeah,
I think it's an interesting convo.
it is. It
Station.
is. It is. Yeah, it's yeah. That he's
But
going so high.
yeah, he's going
Yeah.
so high. You know who else is going high? Let's round this out with
Mm,
the biggest rookie coming out of this entire draft class for fantasy, Ashton Genty.
yes.
Most people project to be a top running back, maybe top five, probably right out of the bat, which I think is not too far out of the realm of possibility. We've seen this before with previous running backs. When you're
Mhm.
drafted that high, you're expected to come in and be that guy right away. So there are high expectations, but if he's the player we see from college, they're going to be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a great addition to the team, and
For a coach that wants to run the ball. Famously,
oh,
Pete Carroll
yeah.
loves running the football.
Yeah. and Chip Kelly too, right?
Yeah.
So I think he's gonna come in, and I think he could dominate, you know, and kind of fill that role that Josh Jacobs had a couple of years
Mm.
back. Because last year the Raiders running back game was non-existent.
Oh, dude, you know it's bad
Dude.
when you're getting excited for Sincere McCormick.
Oh,
Of like, oh man,
yeah.
what a guy! How
Yeah.
great is how great is Sincere McCormick?
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
Oh, the
So,
days.
the days, man, but I mean, yeah, number 1 prospect for running backs. It's tough to say that he's gonna miss because he probably won't. And if he does, it
No,
would be very surprising.
and that's a guarantee. That is,
Yeah.
we promise you all right now, 100%. This cannot backfire against us.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to be one of the best running backs in football.
Yeah. 100%.
Jinxes don't exist in fantasy football. There's no
Exactly.
such thing. No
Yeah, man.
such thing. Guarantee. Play all 17 games.
Yeah.
But that was our final team, and the battle of the breakdowns of the AFC has finally concluded. We have finished talking about all the teams, but the war has just begun. Future videos, we will have discussions about the NFC as well, and we will get those out in a very future time. But for right now, thank you so much for checking out some of our first videos that we are posting here today. This is hopefully the start of many more fun ideas and videos that we will present for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, if you just want to be simple, join the Simpletons.
Yep.
Any
family
closing
affair.
remarks, Jake?
No, I mean, yeah, thank you guys. Hope someone took something away from this, and if not, we're
Yeah.
just doing this for fun. We would have these conversations even if no one was listening. So,
Yeah.
yeah, just appreciate anyone who's tuning in. But yeah, thank you guys, and this has been fun. Nice little episode.
I hope no one takes anything away from this. I hope they come out of this dumber than when they came in, which is how they should. But that will do it for us here today. What? It's the Simpleton way.
Yeah, man.
It is the Simpleton way. We will make you dumber than when you first started watching, and that's okay, because it makes you happy. And that's more important.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. We will see you all next time.
I like it cut, G.